We were shaped by the stories we read. Through them we learned how to live and work together. But our stories are different. We Latins huddled along the coasts, under a very unequal distribution of power. Slums grew everywhere and demanded similar solutions. Our stories too have made it into our workplaces, and multinationals also huddle along our coasts as well. Racism is still rampant, meaning that blacks are underrepresented in managerial positions. We have tied one hand behind our backs. American stories embrace change, stimulate perseverance in the pursuit of clearly defined goals, and those stories shape behavior, whether in private lives, in politics, or in business. Those stories cherish pragmatism too, showing little qualms about mixing love and money, whether in marriage as in Gone with the Wind, or in the shadier world as in Scarface. And there is an element of obsessiveness in those stories too. That obsessiveness in the pursuit of goals, combined with a frontier spirit and propped by an ideology of self-reliance, led Americans to seek solutions to save scarce manpower, initially in gun manufacturing, followed by making watches, sewing machines and steam engines. For all this inventiveness, there were also problems lurking about. A happy coincidence brought together Taylor and Parsons in New England. One figured out how to manage production, and the other furnished the gist of managing large organizations. The paradigm required breaking down complex systems into its part. Combined, they were applied to people management, and people began to look very much alike. Standardization of people improved resource allocation, but people began spending less time at any place. Loyalty ties dropped and family bonds suffered. Initially, it was only artists which saw trouble in increasing loneliness and in the alienation of people, but towards the end of the last century, reputable social scientists joined in, pointing out to the fraying of the social fabric. By then, it was already severely threatened. There are differences between Latin Americans too. The Portuguese became traders, but the Spanish remained aristocratic and belligerent. Traders seek win-win solutions, while aristocrats seek winner-takes-all ones. Leaders espouse these culturally determined attitudes, which are reflected in the national anthems and in the higher lethality of disputes amongst the descendants of Spain. Brazil is encircled between the sea and fire. American management, with its emphasis in results, is anathema to most Latin Americans. We put much more emphasis on relationships. It's so much so that we do not trust people that we don't know. This is why we find it quite difficult to work with people hired from the market, however competent they may be. Well, this is why we have trouble with foreign-appointed bosses, chosen because they fit better headquarters than the locals they have to follow. If you let us get around like we would wish, we might even be able to deliver a world-class show for no pay on the date and the time agreed, like a carnival parade is. But please forget that little thing about no pay.